Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Nedarim page 43, which discusses a situation where you made a vow saying, I am not going to allow this person to get any benefit from me. And then all of a sudden, the two of you are all alone, stranded, walking in the middle of nowhere. You have tons of food and water, and they have absolutely nothing. And the question is, what do? Obviously, it's not a life and death situation. In that situation, of course, there would be nothing to talk about. Certainly, you could give them whatever you need. But the question is, let's say this person is hungry, person is thirsty. So what can you do in this case? So there is a concept called hefker, that you could make the things that you have ownerless. So over here it discusses that you can take your food and water and you can put it on a rock, and you can say that this is considered to be ownerless. And then all of a sudden he can go and take this food, and it's totally fine. However, there is an opinion, the opinion of Rabbi Yossi, that says one is not allowed to do this. And he says the reason why is because, similar to a story of what's called Beis Charon, there was a situation where a person was not allowed to derive benefit. He was not allowing his family to get benefit from him. And he really wanted his grandfather to attend his wedding and his daughter's wedding. So what did he do? He wanted his family to come, but he made a strict vow that they're not allowed to derive any benefit from him. So he came up with this same idea. He decided to make all of the food, the tens of thousands of dollars of food at this wedding hall, he said it's all ownerless. And because he paid for it, and then after he paid for it, he made all the food ownerless. And now it's not a problem, even though he made a vow that these family members can't get benefit from him. It's not a problem because it's not his. It's ownerless. So now all of a sudden they can come and enjoy the wedding and everything is fine. Until all of a sudden some other person came and said, oh, it's ownerless? Great. I'm going to take it all and I'm going to designate it and sanctify it to the temple, to the Beit HaMikdash. So all of a sudden, this person stood up and said, whoa, wait 1 second. That wasn't my intention. My only intention was for my family to be able to come to this wedding. And therefore, that's a problem, because it clearly shows a lack of sincerity in this declaration of making the item ownerless. It was clear that he wasn't really making it ownerless at all. He really still wanted it for himself, but he just had the problem. He wanted other people to come to be part of this wedding. And because of that, we also have this concern here, that the only reason why he put this food down on this rock and said it's ownerless is not because he really wanted to be ownerless. It's because he had this person that he wanted to give food to, but he was not allowed to because he made a vow against him. And therefore, because the Rabbi Yossi says you're not allowed to do so, because that is not necessarily a sincere level of making something hefker, ownerless, and therefore the truth is maybe it's really, on some level, it's still yours, and he's getting benefit from you, which is against your vow. However, he says, what about the reverse? What if, for whatever reason, you first made all your food ownerless, right? You're walking in the desert, wherever it may be, and you put the food down, you made it ownerless. And then only afterwards you said, you know what, I'm making a ned there, I'm making a vow against this person. So in that, even Rabbi Yossi says it's not a problem, he's allowed to take this food, because it's clear, unlike that story of the wedding, in this case, it was clear that he made this thing ownerless in a more sincere manner. It wasn't so that this person could benefit from him, because he had not yet made this vow. So therefore, in this situation, it is allowed, it is acceptable. So we see over here, when it comes to when a person speaks, it's so important not just to be able to go through the motions and to be able to check boxes, but it's important also to be sincere about what we are saying. But if we're saying something and it's very clear, or it can somehow come out that the words that you're saying are really just empty words, and they're not coming really from your heart, and they're not really that of meaning and that of sincerity, then in that situation, perhaps one has to be a little bit more careful about how they speak and the message that they're giving across.